Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of The Terri Cole Show. And I want to start with a question. Do you ever find yourself getting stuck in conversation hell when you're talking to your family of origin, extended family, at a holiday gathering, at a birthday party? Does that ever happen to you, where someone is either asking you super personal questions that you don't want to answer, or maybe they're dumping all of their problems on you while you're here at a gathering? So if you're nodding your head yes, then today's episode is for you, because I'm going to be handling some strategies to create better boundaries with family members and friends. And I'm also going to be giving you some scripts so that you will have them in your back pocket when you need them, when you're in the situation. So let's get to it. Before we get started, if you're new here, if you happen to be new to my channel, introduce yourself in the comments below, because we really are a friendly group. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified every time I roll out new videos, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday, because I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. So if you happen to be new here, my name is Terri Cole. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, a relationship expert, and the author of Boundary Boss, which you can get at boundarybossbook.com. I want to say thank you for all of your comments, because I read them all. I absolutely love it, and I love to highlight them. So Mary McFadden, on the episode The 5 Foundational Boundaries for Epic Relationships, writes, "This was excellent. Thank you. I appreciate your soothing voice. My 36th anniversary is next week, and this is still extremely helpful. Healthy boundaries are necessary for healthy loves." Yes, it is true. I'm guilty of getting peeved at little things because he hasn't read my mind about something that I don't like. This is a great reminder. It takes time and trust to talk about this stuff with our partners without getting defensive. Childhood triggers and all. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mary, for being here. We appreciate you so very much. Let's move into today's content. So, do you ever get sucked in to these conversations where you can't get out of them? Or it's really about boundaries, right? These are about conversational boundaries. But of course, if it's close family, and this happens all the time, this speaks to a deeper boundary dysfunction. But let's actually talk about the why. It's really hard with family of origin, and usually they're the people that it's the hardest to create healthy boundaries with, because they're the people we've known all of our lives. So I always like to liken it to a dance troupe, and the way that we set our boundaries with people, it's basically we have a boundary dance, right? I do this, then you do that. You do that, then I do this. And our family of origin, the people we grew up with, the adults who raised us, we've been dancing with them. They're like the original dance troupe when it comes to boundary setting and or boundary violations, because most of us actually learned disordered boundaries at home. So much of it is about modeled behavior. And there's different ways that this can present itself in your relationship. If you have the adults who raised you, I call them your parental impactors, because it could be an aunt, it could be a foster mom. If they are having difficulty moving to the next phase of their life or of your relationship with them, they may be very intrusive around your life. They may think that they have a right to tell you everything that they think. You might hear someone say, well, I'm your mother. I'm the only one who will tell you the truth, quote unquote. We're your parents. Basically, trying to control and manipulate us to stop having boundaries by making us feel that it's disrespectful to have boundaries. So first of all, be rest assured that there's always a way that you can express a boundary request respectfully, politely, with kindness, and with a little more heat if needed. But the sheer nature of creating boundaries in your life is not aggressive. It's actually just truth-telling. And when you think about how it impacts your relationships, the more honest you are, the healthier your relationships will be, the less frustrated you will feel in your relationships. And that's good for everyone, right? That's an overall win-win, whether the people in your family see it that way or not. Because a lot of times, if we've had a lot of disordered boundaries, or if we've been the one who've let people give us unasked for advice or criticism, or told them everything about our lives in every relationship because they want to know, when we start to change, they feel offended, they feel angry. And a lot of times it's because they were benefiting in some way the most for you having disordered boundaries. I know from my therapy practice that this is something that people, even when you get really good at boundaries, somehow you can like revert back in time when you go home, let's say going home for the holidays. It's like you can find yourself feeling like your 12-year-old self again, getting defensive, being angry. Because if your parents, parental impactors, are treating you like a child, it's almost like you just go back to this familiar way of interacting. But here's the thing. You don't have to, right? It's not mandatory. So let's talk about different ways, because, we're going to be gathering with folks. The season is already starting of gathering, but this is advice that you can use any time of year. This is not specific to the holidays because we have family gatherings all year round, most people. So what's the first thing that you can do if you find yourself stuck in a conversation that you really don't want to be in? And let's say you're at a gathering. You can just opt out of the conversation. And I feel like for many of us, we never think of that. Like, I could just get out of this conversation. I could just stop it right now. And we don't have to do it, again, in a confrontational way, especially if these are extended family folks, an aunt that you see twice a year, a cousin that you're not that close to. You can literally say, excuse me, I need to use the restroom. What are they going to say? No, you don't. Like, removing yourself, and especially if it's a gathering and there are other people, it's not like you're obligated to go back to that conversation. You're not. You could say, I'm going to go refresh my drink, or, you know what, I just saw my mom, I'm going to go talk to her. There's many, many ways without saying to Uncle Bob, wow, I'm not interested in your divorce, or Aunt Betty, wow, stop asking me about my divorce. Like, we don't have to get all kinds of super truthful to create healthy conversational boundaries and healthy boundaries with people in general, because those people don't necessarily deserve your truth, so to speak. Like, it's not a requirement. What we're really trying to do, especially if you're at a gathering, is you want to have a good time. You want to spend time with people that you want to be with. And if it's not this person, getting yourself out of the conversation by saying, it's getting late, I'm going to start to head out. That is perfectly acceptable, and it's not rude. And here's the thing. We always think that people are so like dialed into what we're doing. Like, they're going to think this, they're going to think that. They're not. They're going to go on to the next person and do the exact same thing that they just did to you if they are notoriously nosy, or if they are a notorious dumper of their problems. It's not just you. You could be anybody. They're going to do that exact same thing. So there's no reason to silently suffer in that situation. Another kind way of doing this is you could redirect, right? Maybe you don't want to get away from the person, but maybe you really do not want to have the conversation. You can straight up ignore a question that someone asks you if it is too personal or it's making you too uncomfortable. You literally don't have to say anything, but you can distract them by redirecting the conversation somewhere else. Most people want to talk about themselves. That's the truth, especially people who are not your VIPs, right? Your extended family. They're looking for an opening to tell you a story about themselves. So if they're asking you something like, hey, Uncle Bob's like, why'd you get divorced? You can literally say, oh, you know what? Actually, wait a minute. Hold up on that. I wanted to ask you, I heard you got a new job, or I heard you guys moved. Tell me about that. If you want to stay in conversation with them, but you don't want to reveal too much about yourself, a simple redirect, making it about them, can actually solve your problem in the moment. Because again, if these are family gatherings that you do a couple of times a year, you're going to see this person again in maybe a year's time. They're not going to remember what the conversation was. And remember, people are kind of self-focused. And even if they're trying to get information from you, the second you talk about them, trust me, they're going to be like, oh yeah, let me tell you all about that. I can't wait. Another thing, if someone is being intrusive and if they're not letting up, right? If you try to do the redirect, but they bring it back and they're like, I really want to know why you got divorced. You can use this tip that I always share with you guys that is from actually power dynamic expert Kasia Urbaniak, where you flip the script on them. So when they're asking you the question, they're dominating you. When you flip it and ask a question about their question. So why did you and what's-his-face get divorced? Maybe that's the person's insisting that you tell them. You can flip it and say, why would you ask me that? Or why would you want to know that? And now the onus is on them to have to explain, like, and literally you're talking about people having to admit to themselves, oh, I'm really just morbidly curious. I'm just viewing your life as a reality television show right now. Because if it's someone that you're not close to, it's really not caring, right? It's not being part of the solution. It's really just plain old nosiness so much of the time. And it's really your decision about who you share the intimate details of your life with, regardless of who wants to know them, right? It's you are the keeper of that. You don't even have to be angry. If you say to someone when you're flipping that script, well, why would you ask me that? You don't have to be mad. There's no reason to have heat behind it because you've already successfully flipped the power dynamic by questioning the questioner's question. I know that sounds convoluted, but that's really what you're doing. You're basically like, why would you ask me that? You're straight up saying, why would you ask me that? And the implication, people can take it many ways. My experience with using this is that most people go, oh, well, I'm sorry, I was just making conversation. And then I would say, okay, well, I don't want to talk about it. Like, nicely, right? But I'm definitely not talking about the thing I do not want to talk about. But saying it in a neutral tone puts you in a power position because the more activated we get, the more heat we bring, the more angry we are, the more defensive the other person will become. And then suddenly it's not about what they did. They're not thinking about the inappropriate question they asked you. Now the focus is all about how you're acting, that you are being aggressive, which if you do it in a very neutral tone with a kind of a neutral face, you're not being aggressive. So they can't accuse you of that. All right, the next thing you can think about doing, and this really works well with family gatherings, anything that is in person, is to use your body language to support what you want to happen. If I'm talking to someone that I don't want to talk to and that I don't plan on talking to for long, I'm not going to have a very open body language. I'm not going to lean forward and act captivated by what they're saying. I might lean back. I might cross my arms. I might be looking towards, let's say, the bar or the bathroom or something because I'm planning my escape. But I want my body language to be aligned with my goal, which is to not have to talk to this person anymore. A lot of times, you know the players, right? A lot of us do very similar gatherings every year. And a lot of times it's people you only see once a year. You know who the drunks are, who you don't want to get caught talking to a drunk because P.S., nothing more boring. And oh my God, please don't be that person. It's just the worst. Where you're having a conversation with someone that they're never going to remember, but you're never going to be able to forget most of the time. And they're not going to remember. So don't even worry about how you disengage yourself from a wasted person because, trust me, they're going to find their next person to talk to and they're not even going to remember that you had an interaction, most likely. But back to the body language stuff. Let's say you're walking towards the bar to get a drink. You're walking towards the bathroom or you're walking across a room and you see someone who you know is trying to get your attention and wants to talk to you, and it's one of the people you don't want to talk to, you can wave and be like, hey, how you doing? And just keep going, right? Because truthfully, as I like to say, nothing says I'm not stopping to chat. Like actually not stopping to chat. You are conveying with your body what your true intention is, which is not chatting with that person. And again, you can do it with a smile on your face. Hey, happy holidays. Just keep on walking. So there's basically a power in having your body language be aligned with what your goal is, if that is to not talk to the person. How do we deal with people who are saying inappropriate things out loud? Maybe a misogynistic joke, a racial joke. This is another place to use your body language where you can just put your hand up, like in the stop position, and be like, hey, that does not work for me. You can actually just say that. And if they don't stop, you can walk away. So I'm never that concerned about offending someone who feels like it's fine to make a racist or misogynistic or homophobic or whatever comment or joke, because they're already so offensive. Like, why do I care? You know, I feel like we've got to also be discerning with who we're so overly concerned with and be dialed into. If you have the people-pleasing syndrome, is it that you just don't want anyone to be upset with you, even if the person is a misogynistic jerk? Then we really need to think about that and go, why? That's where discernment comes in, right? We can't worry about what everyone thinks about us. We have to be discerning about whose opinion we care about. and what we're going to subject ourselves to, right? Because sitting there when someone's making a misogynistic joke and saying nothing, that just, to me, feels wrong. I just can't do it. It just physically feels wrong. I have to get up and leave. I have to say something. I have to put my hand up. I have to do something, because not doing anything feels really bad. And then I'm going to give you, and all of this will be in the guide, so terricole.com/guide, and I'll give you a bunch of other scripts that you can use. But one that I like, and it depends on who the person is, but a lot of times you have people who are interrupting when you're talking. Now, this is more if it's family of origin and if it's a pattern, right? Or a friend where it's a pattern. You know, if I'm at a cocktail party and I'm not going to see these people for another year, I really don't care. But if it's someone who I'm dealing with on a regular basis, I do. So a script you can use for that is, I'd really appreciate it if you could let me finish my story, and then I'm all ears for yours, right? Or sometimes I'll put up my hand and say, oh wait, Bob, do me a favor, just let me finish, because I feel like if I don't do it right now, I might forget what I was going to say. And again, that's softening the boundary for me to make the other person less defensive, but it is still effective. Because what am I really trying to do? I'm trying to finish my story and not have that person cut me off and not care about what I'm saying, especially if you're in a group of people. So, I know the holidays are coming up and we're all going to be sort of dealing with this. So my thought for you is, I created this cheat sheet in the guide so you can have it in your back pocket when you're at Thanksgiving dinner, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, or when you're at a holiday gathering or wherever you are, to feel more protected and less on edge when you're with family and friends who can be incredibly intrusive. So I would love to hear from you what your experience is. Do you have a very intrusive family, or does this not resonate with you? Let me know in all of the comments, and you can also tag me on Instagram, because that's where I hang out the most, and let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. And as always, take care of you.